It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday, August 20th. It's a no makeup, still in my workout gear day. I'm doing some behind the scenes business. My kids are home still from school. They start next week in exactly 1 week. And I'm dealing with like customer service stuff. I don't know if you know that feeling when you're just like, oh my gosh, get me to a person. How many times can I chat with an online bot? But guess what, you guys? This is not a bot. I'm not a bot. I am Donna bot. Donna bot. No, no, I am Donna in the flesh, in the makeup free flesh. Welcome to the show. I can't wait to talk about Love Island. It's going to be a Love Island combo today, which I know it's not for everyone, but we do have some other stories. We're going to talk a little bit about some updates on the Matthew Perry case. One podcaster specifically has one of the biggest deals that I've ever heard of financially that just kind of got released. I saw this weird article that popped back up today about Brandi Glanville and Andy Cohen. There's a bunch of things that we're going to talk about all on today's daily dose of Donna. Did I tell you guys that I'm starting to watch Love Island UK? I don't know if I told you guys this. Don't spoil a thing. I am only like 2 or 3 episodes in. It's good. It's good. And I never really like to watch the other countries' versions of any of these shows because I always feel like we're in the middle of, Los Angeles, Love Island, Los Angeles. Um, Love is Blind. That's what I meant. Love is Blind UK. But all of these shows, like we have so many already just for the American versions that I'm always like, do we have to watch from every country? I don't know if we have that bandwidth. But everyone said that Love is Blind UK is so good that I have to watch it. So I'm in the middle of that. I'm really liking it. We can do a special Patreon talking about it. I don't want to talk about it here because it's probably not one of those shows that everyone watches, but I will definitely be keeping up with the Love is Blind pods. There's something about that magical pod moment, It's the 4 or 5 episodes usually that they spend in the pods when you're just kind of like really feeling it. You're feeling all cuddly and cute. And then you have those moments where the doors open and you have to go out and you have to either decide like, oh my God, I'm so turned on, or holy shit, I have to be engaged to this, this person. We will definitely talk about that. I love that show so much. A lot of you guys say Traders UK is really good. I know, I hear this. And I also hear that, Love is Blind Mexico is so good and messy, according to Michelle. So exciting. I don't know. How do we do it? Maybe I should have just started a podcast called Love is Blind around the world. Love is always blind. And then that's all my show will be. We'll just be talking about Love is Blind. When you have a great season of Love is Blind, you wonder, like, why watch anything else on TV? Some of these shows are just so damn good. So I have a little bit of a shorter episode planned today just because of some, personal stuff going on over here. So why don't we just take a moment really fast to, talk about the fact that, I don't know, we should just get into the stories. Like, unless you guys want to chat, is there something you want to talk about? Okay, cool. Let's get into the stories. Are you guys down? Let's first get into the craziest freaking deal I have seen, and that is with Call Her Daddy's Alex Cooper. Have you guys heard about this? Alex Cooper just signed a deal this morning. Andrew Dominguez with the breaking news in my DMs this morning, but it's all over now. It was on Forbes, it was on Daily Mail, and Alex Cooper signed a $125 million deal with Sirius XM. Yes, yes, yes. That means that she is set to leave Spotify. I don't know if it's exactly starting in 2025. He is 29 years old, guys. 29 years old. Number one, that's shocking to me. For some reason, she just feels older. Alex Cooper has I mean, she's beautiful. It's not about her looks. It's more just like her energy does not feel like a 29-year-old to me. She obviously has had a huge career. She started the podcast with Sophia with an F, and then she went on over to Spotify from Barstool in a huge deal when it was just her. And then just this last year, I mean, she has really taken it up a notch because she did this whole deal with Peacock and the Olympics. And I personally thought maybe the next step for her was going to be a TV show for Peacock, something along those lines, that they were just kinda, like, testing her out in, like, the TV broadcasting space, and maybe that will still happen. But she just announced this deal where she basically she made $60 million for the Spotify deal, thanks, Blair, and now she's doubling it for a Sirius deal. It's a 3-year exclusive contract. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The Spotify deal was a 3-year exclusive contract. Let's see if we can find some details on this. A little over 3 years, according to Hollywood Reporter, $125 million starting in 2025. She told Hollywood Reporter that the move would give her new ways to evolve and help provide her listeners with the best experience. Well, Sirius, if you're listening to this podcast, you got to fix your app, because what it is now is such a piece of garbage. There's nothing that makes listening to a Sirius radio show, like, less enjoyable. For some reason, I just feel like, the one thing about the Sirius app and I guess Spotify is that they both have this video component, and Call Her Daddy is a video show. So when I listen to Call Her Daddy, like, if I don't listen to it on a regular basis, but if she has a guest on that I really want to listen to the show, I'll usually have the video on. But just like on oh, no, it's just like YouTube Premium because I pay for Spotify Premium. I can close my phone and put it in my pocket and still be listening, but you have the video there if you wanna access it. I know Sirius is gonna have the same, but I will tell you this, Sirius sucks as an app. It just uploaded or updated a complete new interface in the last few months. I don't imagine any of you guys that listen to Sirius's app. I wonder if any of you guys enjoy it. It's so confusing. It's all over the place. It's really hard to find what you're looking for. And the worst part about it, and maybe this is just like my experience, but if you're paying for an app, you should be able to fast forward, rewind, and capture any single thing on demand instantly. Meaning, if I want to go and listen to Jeff Lewis at 9 a.m. Okay, Jeff Lewis airs 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. here in Los Angeles. If I want to go and listen at 10:03, I can't go back to 9 a.m. I have to listen only to the beginning of the hour, and then I have to wait a few hours for them to, like, upload the replay onto the app. It makes no sense. Secondly, and this is a big issue, and a lot of new cars, they don't have the compatibility for Sirius. So in my car, I can listen to, it's not just a Bluetooth. Like in my old car, if I wanted to listen to anything like Spotify or whatever, I'd really have to get my Bluetooth connected or plug in my phone. But in my new car, it has the capability that I can just click on Spotify while I'm driving, pulls up all of my favorite things, everything I was listening to, the books I'm listening to, whatever. Same with Audible, Apple Podcasts, everything. Sirius doesn't have a capability in the Tesla. And I don't know if this is like a thing in a lot of cars or just Tesla, but it does. And I know I had it in my old car. I was driving a Volvo and I loved that car partially for this reason. This car doesn't have it. So if I want to listen to anything on Sirius, from my own experience, I have to get it on my phone and Bluetooth it to the car. It's a little thing like that that is actually kind of annoying. And a friend of mine that has a Tesla and loved Howard Stern said, I canceled Sirius because I was never listening to it in the car because it just made it too difficult to find it, make sure on Bluetooth, then you can't listen or, you can't do anything in the meantime on your phone or whatever. So those kinds of things annoy me personally, but app functionality is so important, and Spotify works very easy and very clean for me, and it doesn't have that same Sirius just doesn't have that for me. So, Sirius needs Alex Cooper. Michelle asked earlier, I think in the comments, who needs who more? Does Alex need Sirius or does Sirius need Alex? And I think Sirius needs Alex Cooper more than anything because really, who do they have? On Sirius, of course, they have a lot of shows that a lot of you guys listen to, but I would say the big stars of Sirius Radio are Howard Stern, duh, Jeff Lewis, for sure. I mean, Andy Cohen is like, he has his station, his Andy Cohen radio channel, but I don't think Andy Cohen's radio show does nearly as well as Jeff Lewis's. Um, and then they have like random specials and stuff. I don't think that they have a huge show. You know, Spotify, you think of Spotify, you immediately think of Joe Rogan, Call Her Daddy, and some other really big ones. So this is a really big moment for Sirius, but they've got to get it together. And I can only imagine how much Jeff Lewis is going to complain about the money that Sirius is spending for Alex Cooper and not for him. So I'll be interested to see what's going on. Next. I mean, I'm happy for her. She's literally 29. I don't even know what to do with that money at 29. Like, can you imagine? Now, a lot of you guys don't love her interview style. I was seeing in the comments, some of you guys felt like, you know, she plays too softball. There's something about her energy that people really like. I mean, I don't find her to be the most compelling or amazing interviewer. You know who I love in the pop culture space that really gets good answers out of people or asks the right questions? And this is going to be very, very controversial. But my favorite celebrity interviewer that I listen to is Not Skinny But Not Fat. Not because of everything about her. I like Amanda, actually. She asks the questions that we are curious about. For example, she asked Tom Schwartz, why do you call her Ariana and not Ariana? Why? Like stupid questions that the fans are actually really curious about, like really detailed random things. Um, Okay, Kate Casey, a few of you guys have some other options, Kate Casey. Kate is definitely more of like a sociological smart Diane Sawyer of reality TV stars, and she gets those kinds of questions in too. But I love Not Skinny But Not Fat's way of asking questions. It feels very like hanging out with a friend and asking those questions. Nick Vile, for example, he drives me crazy in his interview style. I really don't enjoy the way he interviews. And I also don't really love like Alex Cooper feels like she's putting it on too much or like she's not comfortable. What Josh said is she's so calm and makes everyone feel really comfortable. I think we're talking about the same. Anyway, I feel like you know, there's winners and there's losers in this kind of sense of podcasts, but this is a good kind of we'll get into Love Island and how I think the podcast once again ruined the Love Island reunion for everyone. Honestly, it really I'm very disappointed in that. But a couple other stories before we get into that. A few weeks ago I told you guys about the Jamie Lynn Sigler story and her son, and so many of you guys were interested in, you know, talking about this and just feeling so bad. So Jamie Lynn Sigler has a son named Bo who's exactly my son's age, and they played on the same baseball team. So I've always followed Jamie Lynn, and she follows me back, and we're friendly. We get in the DMs together, and I saw last week or 2 weeks ago, she posted that she was getting really vulnerable and honest on her messy podcast with Christina Applegate about her son, Bo, and what he was experiencing. He was experiencing something that I seriously had never heard of. I didn't even know it was a thing, and it was called ADEM and ADEM, I want to say. And basically, it is like an infection from just a minor cold. And this boy all of a sudden like lost abilities to walk, and he was super, super sick. And then his brain was like short circuiting and he was on loop. I mean, it was really, really sad. So she talked about it very openly on the podcast last week. And she was saying, I hope he gets better. I hope he gets better. But over the weekend, she posted that he finally is leaving the hospital. The cutest video ever of her son, Bo, kind of almost like dancing his way through the corridor with the nurses and the doctors all screaming his name and like clapping left and right. It was so cute. She said, after 33 days, we are busting out of here. Thank you to everyone thank you to the incredible staff at Dell's Children's Hospital. My brave boy, you are a walking miracle. The rest of the story will be Bo's to tell if he chooses to one day. And then she went on about it. She was talking about, how happy and how grateful she is, of course. And she says, and just so you guys know, ADEM, according to Boston Children's Hospital, involves a brief but intense attack of inflammation, swelling in the brain and spinal cord that damages the brain's myelin. I hope I'm saying that right. But anyway, he's fine right now, or at least better. And I'm so glad that he is walking out of the hospital healthy. I mean, literally, seriously, how scary that all of a sudden you can go from like a really healthy kid that, I mean, you hear this all the time with so many stories, right? A really healthy kid, everything's fine. And then all of a sudden, overnight, totally not the same. So good for Jamie Lynn. Let's talk about this one other. Oh, Matthew Perry. Did you guys hear about this news story about Matthew Perry? It's really bad, you guys. Matthew Perry, according to um, like some of the stuff that's coming out, Matthew Perry has definitely been he was a he struggled with addiction his whole entire life. We know that, right? But then he got sober and he seemed to be doing better. He wrote his memoir. He was doing like a lot of press going around. And then all of a sudden, I guess in September 2023 or something along those lines, like in 2023 at some point, he started to get very addicted to the ketamine, which eventually did actually kill him. So sad, really so sad. But now there's like all this new information about his live-in assistant. Now, if you guys remember, I talked about this a few weeks ago or last week or whatever about his assistant. And in my brain, the way that I was reading the story, I almost felt bad because I almost felt like the assistant, like maybe in my like maybe just felt like he had no choice but to do what his boss wanted him to do, which was shoot him up with drugs. I don't know why my brain goes there, and I guess at the end of the day, this assistant should have known that what he was doing was contributing to negative health in his boss slash, like, I don't know, friend. This was his assistant for many, many years. But my question, I guess, is, do you believe, that he had the ability? Do you think that this Kenneth, his assistant, had the ability to say, like, Matthew, no? No, I will not be involved in any way of administering any sort of ketamine that is gonna make you feel sick. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they were in love. Like, seriously, you have no idea what's really going on behind the scenes. Not that I'm saying Matthew Perry was, but, like, maybe they had this crazy codependent relationship, like, we don't know, right? But now it comes out that Kenny Iwamasa, his assistant, is claimed to have cleared evidence from the scene of his death after allegedly administering a fatal dose of ketamine to the Friend Star, according to court documents. He was arrested. He's one of the 5 people arrested earlier this month in connection with Matthew Perry's death. And also, of course, doctors have been charged. The ketamine queen, Jasveen Sangha, and says chilling new details have emerged from the investigation into Perry's overdose, including the events that prosecutors say transpired just after he died. It said this one guy, Eric Fleming, who was like part of the ring, basically, of getting the ketamine over, had allegedly been working with Kenneth Iwamasa, that's the assistant, to get Perry the ketamine that was supplied by all the doctors. He is said to have texted the assistant, "I wouldn't do it if there wasn't a chance of me making some money." On the day of his death, Matthew Perry requested a dose of ketamine at 8:30 a.m. from his assistant, according to legal documents filed by the prosecution. He then took a second dose around 12:45 p.m. while watching a movie, and finally requested a third dose around 1:30 p.m. so he could be high in the hot tub. He instructed Iwamasa to prepare the tub and, quote, shoot me up with a big one. And after complying, Iwamasa stepped out to run errands. So he administered a strong shot of ketamine, prepared the hot tub, and left the house. This is in the afternoon. By the time he returned around 4 p.m., Matthew Perry was dead, face down in the water. And prosecutors claim Kenneth then set to work removing proof from the scene. And this is when it gets real yucky and bad. He spoke to Fleming afterwards. That's the guy that drove it over to them and brought it to them, and informed him he had cleared away evidence of paraphernalia, including syringes and vials. Fleming subsequently told the ketamine queen, I never dealt with Perry, only the assistant. So the assistant was the enabler. Iwamasa Kenneth, he had called 911. Paramedics arrived on the scene and declared Matthew Perry dead. Coroners would say that ketamine was the primary cause of his death, drowning a secondary. Obviously, it is like a group of people that have gotten involved and kind of all are, it's like an octopus of all these different hands that are involved in this one thing. And it's obviously, pretty bad. But the point is that there is obviously a lot of involvement now on everyone's side. And I do think that now knowing more information, I do think that Kenneth Iwamasa was an enabler, was the administrator. Um, and I don't believe it's like the same as like if you say the Alec Baldwin story or whatever, because it wasn't like he thought he was giving him, a shot of saline or like, liquid hydration or whatever. Like he knew that he was giving him drugs. I guess there was also a story that Matthew Perry had like passed out and frozen multiple times before he actually had died. So this was not something that Kenneth probably knew to be or didn't realize that it was like a dangerous substance, right? Um let's see. At one point, yeah, I talked about this already, but at one point when he had been injected with a big dose, his blood pressure rose to dangerous levels and he was unable to speak or move. It says Iwamasa illegally spent $6,000 on 25 bottles of ketamine 9 days after he purchased 25 ketamine vials illegally. I mean, obviously, Iwamasa spent the money. I would imagine it's Perry's money. I have no idea. Real bad, you guys. The stories continue to go on. There's a lot of details about this, about where they met, about who paid who, about how people experienced it. Um, the doctor gave the assistant exact instructions on how to do it. Um, yeah. I mean, the assistant was texting the doctor saying he wanted to buy not just the injection sessions, but to be left with more vials of ketamine, referring to it in agreed upon code as Dr. Pepper. So he was leaving all these and he was coming to do the injections and then leaving extra vials over with Perry. He had first injected Matthew Perry on October 4th. He told the doctor, I found the sweet spot, that trying different spots on Perry had led to them running out and they needed more. So they just became like more and more and more. It talks about specifically how on October 8th, in the late night meetup at a Santa Monica, California shopping plaza, the doctor sold Kenneth Iwamasa 4 vials of ketamine for $6,000 in cash. There was times where they would drive to Long Beach, meet up with the doctor. Get this. I mean, this is a crazy story. It goes on and on and on. So the details are pretty insane. I don't know who has given them all the details, if it was Kenneth, if they've looked up phone records, driving records, all of it was really, really bad. But the point is that I don't believe that anyone is innocent in this. There's a lot of people that are very, very disgusted with Matthew Perry. I noticed, like, there's like this most people I think feel guilty or not guilty, feel sad for what happened with Matthew Perry. And then there's this like group of people that are very it's like he deserved it. He was like a loser, a drug addict. He had everything in the world and he kept being on drugs and this and that. When you listen to or watch that listen to or read that book, his memoir, I really do believe in certain cases, and of course, I am absolutely not an expert with addiction, but I do believe in certain cases, like with Matthew Perry, the addiction is so, like, it's bigger than him. He had all the money in the world. He had all the resources in the world. He had all the, everything in the world. I don't know how in the world you can explain that, Anyway, really, really sad. Now, I saw this article when I first woke up this morning, and I have no idea if this is a real, like, this article is dated today. Remember this whole drama with Andy Cohen and Brandi Glanville. Remember how this all started where Brandi Glanville said that Andy Cohen sent me a text with Kate Chastain asking to, like, basically have me watch them have sex, the whole thing. And I didn't really, obviously, the second I saw that it was a video message, drunk text, I thought, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Obviously, it's not appropriate. I don't think it's appropriate, but I'm like, Andy Cohen he's a jokester. He thinks he's friends with all these people. He can have fun, this and that. And he can say these things and like whatever. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, to be 100% honest. And immediately Andy Cohen came out and was like, I'm sorry. It was obviously after a few drinks. It's totally inappropriate. Now, this article that just came out. Now, this is embarrassing because it's on The Sun, which is like really not how I want to ever do this show. But have we seen the video before today? Because I just saw the video for the first time of Andy Cohen and Kate Chastain sent the actual video that they sent to Brandi Glanville. Let me know in the comments if the video has been public for the last year, because I don't remember ever actually seeing the video. But this article came out on The Sun that said it not only showed the video, but it says in a video message that Andy sent to Brandi, the Bravo boss holds a drink and slurs his words along Kate Chastain. They're kind of having fun. They're definitely like smiling it up. Okay, so a lot of you guys haven't seen it. Okay, so let me just share what the video is and we can kind of watch it together. There may be ads, so I'm gonna, The Sun, you can't really confirm that The Sun is going to be an easy website to go through, but let's watch this video together and see if there's an ad.
Brandi,
okay, here we go.
we have something to tell you. We're tonight, and we're going to talk about you the whole time.
So it's like a threesome.
So it's kind of like a threesome.
We're a throuple.
Actually, if you're around in like 90 minutes or 2 hours, do you want to watch us on FaceTime?
Can you get here?
Would you be cool with that?
Yeah, FaceTime.
Yeah, okay.
Wi-Fi, strong Wi-Fi.
Yeah, strong Wi-Fi.
Here's Wi-Fi strong.
Love you, Brandi.
Love you. Bye.
This is my boss. He's my
This is Brandi
employer,
talking about it.
And this isn't the first explicit text message or email he sent me, but it's the worst one. I was in a work environment. I was doing press for the Bravo Girls Trip show. I had a hairstylist like doing my hair when I opened the text, and I was like trying to shut it. I was like, after I heard what it was, that like I was so mortified and embarrassed, and like, does this guy think my boss to get a job? Like, because that's what it sounded like he's gonna think about me having sex, or he's having sex with someone else. Like, I just felt like dirty at that point. I'm like, does this guy think that I like sleep around to get jobs?
Okay. Listen, this is not in any way to minimize someone's experience if they actually feel like they're getting harassed in some situation. I do not think it's appropriate. And I know Andy Cohen immediately recognized, and he did take accountability immediately. He never ignored it. He never denied it. He straight up said, I acted inappropriately and I'm sorry. This is where it gets really difficult because you're crossing the line over boss / drinking partners / dancing together at the clubs, God knows what else. Andy Cohen has probably had to put a lot of boundaries up in place since all of this reality reckoning, drama came out last year. But let's be real, okay? Like for real. I hate to say it out loud, but it's true. If this was like an Eileen Davidson or a Yolanda Foster even, or I'm trying to think of some of the housewives from different arenas. If it was someone that was not really an inappropriate person, Eileen is a great example, okay? If this was Eileen Davidson, who really never got like wasted, never said anything inappropriate, never like danced inappropriately, never wore clothes like this, never tried to make out with people randomly, never slapped someone across the cheek on a TV show, like this would all feel a lot more severe. Brandi Glanville, her personality, I want to say personality, not character on these shows. Her personality is absolutely and has always been inappropriate, over the line, crossing the line, totally like everything that you would say about someone that, is not like following the rules. This is a woman that has not been, she's not what we say demure, classy, mindful, right? She's the opposite. This video that Andy and Kate sent Brandi was so done in jest. It's a problem because he's her boss. But if you substituted Andy for another cast member of like the Traders or whatever, it wouldn't be a big deal. We would laugh it off. Brandi would laugh it off. But this whole idea of like Brandi sitting there and she's saying, I was getting my hair done and I had to quickly stop the video because I didn't want my hairstylist to think that I was sleeping with my boss to get a job. What? Like, what? Do you know Brandi at all? Like, Brandi is the first person that would be like, I want to fuck you too. Ha ha ha. It's just totally frustrating and annoying when people change the story for their benefit. Now, I don't remember this for sure, but yes, one of the comments says Brandi did laugh it off. She responded, and I'm not going to say it, but that, I can say it. I guess it's not a big deal that she would bring her dildo. Like she went along with it. And a lot of people could say, well, what are you supposed to do? It's her boss. I'm sorry. You think Andy Cohen would have ever blamed her, fired her, penalized her if she didn't respond to that text? He probably wouldn't have even remembered he sent it. He could have just responded LOL. Like, come on. And no male hairdresser in Los Angeles doing Brandi Glanville's hair thinks that Brandi had to sleep with Andy Cohen for a job. What world are we living in? Like, clearly, Brandi is really struggling. She obviously is not doing, I don't think she's doing her podcast. I don't see her making any money anywhere. I don't think, maybe only OnlyFans, right? Maybe OnlyFans is the only place that she can make her money. But to me, it does feel a little bit like she is grasping at anything. And like, I'm moved on, right? We've all moved on from this already. So it's so crazy that now she has this article with The Sun. It sounds to me like The Sun bought the video for her because none of you guys had seen it before. So it sounds to me like The Sun paid her a certain amount of money for her to show up in this interview. She didn't even brush her hair. She's wearing these glasses. She looks so like out to lunch. I don't know. It's really odd, the whole experience. And I hate to say it because I'm no Andy Cohen apologist, but this one, I'm just not going to be able to stand by. I'm really not going to be able to stand by. It's like, get over it. Really. Like I send so many inappropriate text messages with my friends about like all kinds of things. This is really a friendship thing, especially with my gay guys. Like you feel like you can say these things so fun and open. Yes, he was her boss. Wrong. Totally wrong. But ooh, this is interesting. Andrew says, as somebody who listened to Brandi's podcast way early in the day, she has made so many sexual comments about Andy and how hot he was. And if he was straight, what would she do? There you go. They had sexual tension. Obviously, he's gay, so he wasn't actually physically attracted to her. And I doubt she really was either. But it was like a joke that they wanted to hook up with each other. Like, come on. Okay, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. There's too many causes. This is not a cause I can jump on. But let's keep going because we do want to finish up by talking about the Love Island reunion that put Kordell to sleep. You think I'm joking? I'm not. Kordell legitimately fell asleep during the Love Island reunion. I was watching it. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it. They only showed him for just a very brief moment. But on Instagram, one of the accounts that I follow, I'm going to pull it up right now and I'm going to call her out so I can make sure that you guys see who it is. It is, I think this is it. Bravo by Catherine. Yes, Bravo by Catherine posted on her Instagram stories today or Instagram feed. And I was like, this actually was like, I couldn't believe it, but this actually happened. Kordell fell asleep during the reunion. Please, please watch this. This is wild that this actually happened.
All I'm saying is, like, no, I'm not blaming you guys for it. From my perspective, the girls had their POV. They went with their logic, and it was just different from the guys. It was just a different decision. But then, like, I heard this, and I was like, you know what?
Kordell
to be honest, I want to know because I still
sleeping.
liked Leah at the time.
Okay. Kordell was all of us last night on the Love Island reunion. That was, I don't know if it was 1 hour, 2 hours, or 46 hours. It was so boring. I went upstairs at like 6:12. I told Lance, I said, we had just finished dinner. I washed the dishes. I walked the dog and I said, babe, you guys hang out down here. I'm going up to Cinema 2. And by Cinema 2, I mean our bedroom. I'm going up. I want to be alone, me and the Love Island reunion. Okay. What I ended up getting was the most drawn out, boring reunion with the most insane product placement I've ever seen. Like the most like non-subtle product placement. Hey guys, do you want some Pizza Hut? With the box right in front of you open. These cheesy breads are good. What? Then there's like Coffee Mate and Dunkin' Donuts coffee, iced coffee across an entire wall where the guys are all hanging out. What? Bad. That was all bad. Ariana, no, there's no negative, nothing negative for her. Like I have nothing negative for her. She did what she was there to do, but she also didn't bring anything incredible to it. She didn't really insert herself in any capacity. We didn't feel like we were getting any of Ariana's personality. I mean, we did get a moment where she talked about getting hate from online trolls, but I love how like with the crazy amount of online bullying in all of these shows, in every reality show ever, it was Love Island that finally made them like discuss cyberbullying and put up a notice on the screen. So was it 2 hours? Was it 2 hours or 93 years? Because at one point I came downstairs and Lance is like, what have you been doing up there? And I'm like, I'm still watching the Love Island reunion. He's like, Donna, come on, what are you doing? I was like, we're just on Aaron and Kaylor. Like, it's never ending. It won't end. And it's Peacock, so I can't fast forward through commercials or anything, right? Because I don't know. Can you subscribe to Peacock and like get no commercials? I don't know if I can because I just can't get past it. But anyway, here's where I think it went wrong. Number one, the reunion should have been the 1 week after the last episode aired. The last episode aired about 4 weeks ago, I want to say, 3 or 4 weeks ago. It should have been 1 week. 1 week max, just like the rest of the shows that we're watching. It's like episodes finish, and then a week later, you start getting into reunion. Why is that important? It's been 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks since the show ended. Since then, we have been inundated with Love Island. It's all over our feeds. They're on every single podcast. Also a big problem. I'll talk about that in a second. They are, they're showing up at events. They're on red carpets. They're posting themselves on social media. By the time this reunion airs, I'm over them kind of. In fact, I'm kind of like, it's kind of like how you feel about Love is Blind, how you get so addicted to these couples, you get like so immersed, you want to know everything, and then you forget their names kind of after a couple days. Like, obviously I remember the main peeps, but I was kind of moved on already. And I think that was the problem. I think I was already moved on in the time by the reunion airing. I was like, who cares really? Like, I'm over it. Had it aired a week after, it would have been great. Number 2, the podcasts. We need to do something serious about a podcast freeze on reality stars prior to the show airing or prior to the reunion airing. There should be a freeze on any reality star doing any promotion after a show wraps before the reunion. Like, it's enough. We knew everything. I feel like we knew everything. The only thing we didn't know, we didn't even like figure it out. I'll get into it. I think it's way too much. I think that having Nick Viall get every single one of them on his show prior to the show, they were on BFF's pods, they were on Chicks in the Office, they were on Ryan Bailey, they were on this, they were on that. Like, enough. It's too much. It makes it less interesting. Leah has been on Call Her Daddy. Rob has been on Call Her Daddy. It's like nothing. There was no shock and awe or surprises. And then number 3, we didn't really focus on any of like the bigger stories that we wanted to. There were about 46 people there for the live reunion on the stage, and they only talked to like 6. The winners of the show, Serena and Kordell, hardly got any attention, but that's because Kordell was asleep. He fell asleep on stage during production, during a taping of a reunion. Do you understand how crazy that is? Like, I can't even believe that that's a thing. So either they apparently it started really late. Like, they started the day early and then they ended up shooting really late into the night. Maybe they were giving them some drinks and Kordell had a couple cocktails and then was passing out. I don't know. It was wild to see. Miguel, that's Leah's guy, Miguel. Leah and Miguel were like a very big storyline. Did not say a word. Didn't say a word. What? The reunion was focused primarily on Leah and Nicole and Kendall. And I want to talk for a second about Nicole and Kendall. And this is going to get a little tricky. I'm sure someone's going to be offended by something I say. Okay. So many people that aren't like obsessed with, podcasts, Daily Dose of Donna, any of these like any of these Instagram feeds or social media, any of these things, had no idea what was happening. Because what they started to do was they were talking about Nicole and Kendall and what happened after the show. And they kept mentioning this video. This video popped up. This was giving Vanderpump Rules season 11 when they come on and they start talking about all the things as if they're assuming everyone is watching all of the blogs and the podcasts and so many people on their comments on like Instagram on comments said, I had no idea what video they were talking about. And I still don't. I'm Googling and trying to find a video. I have no idea. They talked about something without going into detail what was on this video. And they left out, I think, the biggest issue. So Nicole and Kendall, from what I know, they finished in 4th place. They said, I love you. They actually seemed like they really cared about each other. They leave the villa. They both get their phones. Immediately on the day that Kendall gets his phone and Nicole, Kendall seems to have seen that he has this video leaked. Now, what was this video? And this is where I'm going to be very careful about how I talk about this, but this is very, I think, important. A lot of people are saying it's revenge corn, okay? Corn standing for something with a P. This was a video, and maybe it was, I don't know. This was a video that saw Kendall in a light that was inappropriate, right? Obviously, inappropriate. It was clearly a private video, either sent specifically to someone or for some sort of a sexual app. But what we're not mentioning is what the contents of the video were. Because there's a lot of celebrities, like reality stars, whatever, that find these videos that pop up, that things that they did 6 years ago or whatever. And it's like of them kind of like maybe taking a naked picture, a little thirst trap picture, touching themselves, whatever. But this specific video was an explicit video that most likely signified an action that was sent for a male viewer, meaning he was doing something that would turn on most likely a man rather than a woman. Does that make sense? I'm not saying it, but if you're watching the YouTube video. Okay? It was a little bit of this from the back. It was a little bit of spread. Okay. That is not for a woman. I don't know about you guys. I don't know how you guys feel about this. And if you're a woman, speak up. If a man sent me a video of them spreading their butt cheeks, I wouldn't be turned like that's not for me. It's probably not for a woman. No one is talking about that. Why is Nicole upset with Kendall? She comes out of the villa. She finds this video as well. Can you just imagine? You find a man that you're in love with, that you think you're going to be with. You finally, re-enter the world in social media and you see that there's a video that your man is sending that is typically done in a homosexual manner. Why aren't we talking about that? Maybe we don't want to talk about it, but it's like the elephant in the room. Because if there was just a picture or a video that he took of him playing with himself, like on his bed or like, whatever, I don't even know what. Before he met her, before he went on the show, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. This is why it was a big deal. Am I crazy to think that this is why Nicole is like freaking out that he's not being honest with her? And everyone on the couches were yelling at Nicole. Why did I feel like everyone was gaslighting Nicole into just accepting the fact that your man took a very, very sexually inappropriate video of himself prior to meeting you that was clearly not meant for women? That is the problem. She feels lied to because she doesn't know who he actually is. Not that he took a video. We've all done stupid things in our life. Now, another comment, this is important, aside from any homosexual implication, a lot of people don't want to be with someone who's the type of person to send an explicit video to a stranger a few days prior to meeting themselves, because apparently this video was taken in a hotel room right before he went on the show. Totally. I don't think I'd be happy about that either, no matter what the video is. But I don't think it would have been like this. Because I think she would have, because why would he tell her that? That's like a weird thing to say to someone. Hey, by the way, right before the show started, I sent a video of me playing with myself to a friend. Like, you wouldn't say it, right? It just wouldn't come out. Like, we've all done crazy things in our past. What, you're going to tell every new person that you're in a relationship with about every single nude you've ever sent to any ex? No, it's like, that's not really something that will come up. She also said dating app. Yes, we know which one he was talking. Like, you don't put that on a date. I don't know about you guys. I'm not on dating apps, okay? And I'm definitely not on sexual dating apps. But I can't imagine that being on a dating app for women. I just can't. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's unfair that she wasn't able to say, I don't know if you like women. Because he kept kind of dancing around it too. Do you know how hard my life was? Do you know how I tried to have to explain that to my mom? And I tried to explain like who I am and what I am and whatever. And everyone around her is saying, Nicole, he said, I'm sorry. Get over it. Get over it. Like, what else do you want from him? I think she wants him to say, like, I am, you know, I don't know. It was really shitty. I didn't like that feeling at all. And that happened early in the reunion. And I was like, I don't trust any of these girls anymore now. Because how would they react? I want to know how Janae or Leah would react if they left that villa and they saw Kenny or Miguel in the same space. Come on. No way. So Nicole's heartbroken. She's heartbroken because the guy that she was in love with is living a lie in some capacity. And it's sad for Kendall that it came out this way. Horrible. It doesn't diminish his experience. But what I don't like are all the women online that are like, wow, this guy just had this like crazy revenge corn being sent out and we're supposed to feel bad for her. Girl, please. I'm like, what about women supporting women? What about all those girls out there yelling women supporting women? How would you feel if that happened to you about a man? I'm sorry. Does anyone care about, like, I would not know what to do if I saw a video like that. Andrew says it was the app that definitely rhymes with binder. So that really upset me. I felt so bad because you also have to remember that right after the villa, Nicole was probably freaking out, like, who is this man that I'm supposed to be in love with? And Kendall was living his life. You guys remember all those videos I was showing you of Kendall's Instagram, of him dancing, of him going out to the clubs with Kordell and Serena and partying on tables and drinking and dancing and going out. And Nicole was sitting at home saying, oh my God, like, I'm heartbroken. And didn't say a damn word. Didn't say a word. So I really, really don't like this experience. Okay, Michelle says, again, I think that's why Serena nervously was laughing while this conversation was happening. We are not talking about what really went down. Yeah, like they didn't want to say what. So the context was out and no one understood what was going on. And Nicole's like, I'm sorry, like I'm supposed to just like forgive him and like everything's supposed to be okay. Meanwhile, apparently he wasn't even calling her for days on end. They're not supposed to be together, obviously. And I really hope they're not together. Anyway, next. The Leah Andrea Rob storyline, the way I was bored. Andrea has, to me, the charisma and the enthusiasm of my chip clip. Like I was falling asleep when she was giving her whole story. And she started to say how she was feeling like everyone was bullying her. But I'm sorry. I hate to say it. I don't believe in anyone bullying anyone. You know how I feel about that. I think it's disgusting how people talk to people online. If only you guys saw some of the stuff that was written about me. And I'm a nothing, right? I'm a nothing compared to some of these people. But Andrea was going all over her social media talking all kinds of smack after she got off that show. That's the thing. It's like a lot of these people are bringing it on with what they're saying and what they're doing, you know? I was very bored. I didn't even care what Rob had to say. And you know how much I like overalls, Rob. Now, Aaron and Kaylor had a moment because basically Aaron, I mean, I feel bad for him. I just don't think he's very smart because Kaylor was like, you know, I went home and I watched Casa and I saw the way he treated me. And so I had to step back. And then, Aaron's like, and I have to tell you, I put my hands down Daniela's pants. I mean, she goes, fuck, Aaron. Why would you only tell me that now? We've been spending the last 2 days in New York together, Aaron. Aaron. You know what? I don't even want to sit next to you and lives like I will sit right in between you because I will. Then, okay, so Aaron and Kaylor are obviously done. Kaylor, like Aaron's a liar. Aaron's not able to be committed. He's also kind of stupid about the way that he's not able to he should have just ripped off the band-aid. It's the dropping of the lies is just not working, right? Now, when they showed us the 45 hours of the fire pit conversation, did anyone out there say, I didn't ask for this? I didn't want to watch Big Brother live feeds. I don't care. It kept going on and on and on. This fire pit conversation of Liv and Leah and Kaylor and Serena. I mean, talking and talking and talking in circles about, do we want Janae to go or Nicole, or should we have Andrea go, or should we? Oh my God. all I heard was Liv's voice also the entire time. Liv spoke more than anyone in that fire pit conversation. And I was so bored. That was the time where I was playing my game, my obsession right now. I was heavily into my game Match Factory. I think I went to level 497 last night. I was so bored with this show. I couldn't believe that they made all the Islanders just sit there on that couch. Connor, he was there. He had to sit there. And then one of them just like went and did some ad for the Pizza Hut and then came back. It was really, really bad. And it was all what? Yeah, it was just to clear that Leah didn't have a front seat in sending Andrea home. What? We had to sit through that? All I think it should have been, if they're going to show us any live feeds or any like unedited scenes, it should have been really, really scandalous shit. Like 2 of them making out in the corner that we've heard about now on Dumois and no one is copping to. So bad. No wonder Kordell fell asleep. It was really a bad reunion. 15 people were there that didn't even say a word. I mean, it was a really, really bad story. Billy says the only tea was Nicole kissing Miguel, but we knew that. We knew that Nicole kissed Miguel on the show. So, okay, if I had to guess 2 OGs that were actually hooking up in the corner, in the bathroom, according to Dumois, I don't think it was Kaylor. I don't think it was Kaylor or Aaron. I think both of them would have died if the other person was hooking up with anyone. So it was either Janae and I don't think it was Serena either. I think it was Janae or Leah. And it was either Rob or maybe Kendall. Maybe it was Kendall and Aaron. It would have tracked. It would have tracked. Anyway, listen, Peacock failed on this reunion, but I do believe that it should get better. Love is Blind, all of those Love is Blind reunions have had duds. They get better. This is, the first time. I think they'll probably take a lot of people's notes. I think overwhelmingly people online are not into it and didn't think it was great. Again, Ariana was fine. She wasn't really utilized that much. She was fine though. But the rest of the girls honestly came off a little unlikable. Honestly, it felt like a pylon, and it felt like Leah, her move right now, since she has 3 million followers, if I were Leah's publicist, I would say, don't say a damn word. Don't be negative about anything right now, because I think Leah has an opportunity with Alex Cooper. My guess is that Leah and Alex Cooper end up connecting over a podcast. You guys, I've already predicted it. I believe that Leah's going to get a podcast with Alex Cooper's Unwell Network, next to Alex Earl and whoever else. So, but Leah needs to remain likable, which she was. She was a likable, relatable queen, but last night she came off a little bitchy. Didn't love that. Janae, gorgeous. I think she's so gorgeous and beautiful to look at. And I really like her sense of humor and everything, but also came off a little rough. Yeah. It wasn't a winner for me. It wasn't a winner at all. Felt very immature, if that makes sense. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you so much. A lot of you don't think that you could listen to Leah be on a podcast. What if it was Leah, Serena, and Janae? I bet they get a podcast, the 3 of them. That would be fun. It really wasn't anything to write home for. I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. The Kendall Nicole thing threw me over the edge. It threw me over the edge. Nicole, if you're listening to this, I get you. I get you 100%. Kendall is not right. There's a little shady McShady behavior there. All right. I'll see you guys soon. See you tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here, subscribing, and liking the show. 5-star reviews and ratings are always welcome on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Anywhere else you can leave a review or a rating. Thank you guys. Love you. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.